Welcome to RuPaul's Best Friend Review, Season 13, Episode 3. I'm Annabelle Lecter.
And I'm Alexa, play React by the Pussycat Dolls.
And it is Episode 3 already. And just before we get started, let's go to the comments from last week's episode. Because
just one moment. Alexa, stop.
I asked in last week's episode whether we thought that Gottmik's son was a purse or not. Dale K on YouTube said, I thought the sun was a purse.
Accurate.
They then changed their mind and said, I've gone back and watched. It's not a purse.
It's amazing how quickly your eyesight can deteriorate between watches. That's all I have to say.
Dale also said, bottom, Tina and Candy, and top, they agreed with the judges. Joe said, I'm really enjoying these reviews. Thank you, Joe. Means a lot.
Oh, thank you, Joe.
They also said top 2 for the week were Elliot and Simone. Bottom 2 were Tina and Candy.
Oh, I'm alright with that.
It's a lot of people saying Tina and Candy in the bottom. Banjo on YouTube said the sunshine wasn't a purse, but yeah, good idea for a purse or a backpack.
Why do you all think you know?
You're so upset that it wasn't.
It's just really it's just weird that everyone speaks with such authority on it not being a purse, when actually logically it makes sense that it would be a purse. And also, have you inspected both sides and there's no zip? Have you spoken to Mick and Mick's gone, no, it wasn't a purse? No.
That was our comments from last week. Thank you to everybody that has commented. We will read out comments from this video next week. But
yes, so please join in all the way through.
Absolutely.
We have opinions, share your opinions.
Yes, and talking of opinions, let's start the review!
Welcome to RuPaul's Best Friend Review, bringing you a review of Season 13 of RuPaul's Drag Race. With your hosts Annabelle Lecter and Phil.
Fabulous! So, we start off, Tina Burner has to have the first say in the episode and starts talking about Twister.
I don't mind this one because it's funny because she says the thing about the cow flying in.
Yeah.
Which is, very true.
Well, a lot of the younger viewers will probably never have seen Twister. As we're back in the workroom, the Queen, the winner's circle, are sat around and celebrating Simone's victory. Lala's feeling a bit, pressed, I would say.
To me, it felt like she wasn't pressed, but it did feel like she was angry at herself for not what she believes is showing who she is, that she knows she is. I think she thinks if she'd have shown who she really is, then she'd have got the same feedback.
There's a theme for me with Lala where she is
friends with Tinky Winky.
And Poe. You can't say anything. You got compared to a boo bar last week.
You're saved in my phone as Dipsy, so.
Annabelle Lecter. Hey, I've been called worse. Simone said, well, if nothing else happens, but it will. I was so here for that. One thing that really bothered me was the use of the term B-team.
I like that when the others come in, they call themselves the losers. The girls come in.
Yep.
This is the first time they're all seeing themselves in...
Out of drag.
Out of drag. Not
yeah.
No, in the out of the drag. Now, I hate every single first episode when they all take comment on what the others look like out of drag.
Yeah, they're all like, oh, the trade of the season.
Yeah, and I'm just like, do you know what? Let's just focus on some drag. It doesn't matter who is hot out of drag. It shouldn't matter.
Yeah,
absolutely shouldn't. It's a really frustrating thing that now happens, especially because of Drag Race.
Something else to comment on that is a lot of fans, as soon as they find out the cast, will then go and try and find intimate photos of the cast.
Yeah.
Which I think's a little bit creepy, considering that the demographic for Drag Race is getting younger and younger.
It's creepy to go and find news that no one wants to give you. They don't say a whole lot else in this bit, do they really? They're
not, but this is the first time in this episode, and I'm going to say it a lot. Tamisha is just delightful to just hear speak about anything.
There are some I'm not keen on, but everyone seems kind of all right. They're all there to have a nice time together.
Do you think it's because there was such a potential that they could have lost it all?
There's a word for it, isn't there? When you all go through something, you connect, you create a bond, and they've all gone through something pretty traumatic. What I love is this group, there's a fire under them, but it's them going, we all need to have a fire under us. Let's all get a fire under us. I know we don't like it when it's RuPaul's Best Friend Race. But, it's nice. It is actually nice
It is
to see
nice.
when it's presented like this, when they really are gassing each other up. It's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely agree. It's a different energy from last week's, whereas last week's everybody felt like they could be trying to trip each other up. This week, the queens seem to be a little bit more connected, a little bit more sisterly, a little bit more of a family bond. You remind me of Annie Lennox.
I'm about that. I don't mind that.
Mini challenge.
I've named this week Rinse and Repeat.
This week, episode 4, titled Rinse and Repeat.
Well, this is episode 3, so yeah.
Yeah. It's episode 3, did I say 4? What are numbers? What is math?
What are numbers? You know, it's necessary so that everyone's sort of done a fair amount of stuff.
Yeah.
But, like, it's not interesting. Apparently, the briefing they were given was Lady and the Vamp.
And some of them took the vamp very literally. Let's talk favourites and least favourites like we did last week for...
Wait, are you skipping a bit? Did you not write notes on the bit after RuPaul had come in and before they came on the runway? Did you not write notes on that part? Have I got notes and you've not?
I have wrote about it. I was just... I was testing you.
Consider me tested.
Good. What did you put in your notes for this section after RuPaul came in and before the runway?
The name of our book is Annabelle Knew About What Happened Before the Runway and Filth Knew About Beyonce's Reference. What we come to is they all start getting ready and we get told about how Kimora takes 5 hours to get into the guiche. She actually speaks about how for her, a big part of the getting ready slowly is because she undergoes like a full transformation and it takes that time to get into it. And I actually know people like that. My drag mother is like that. She's all about the transformation. She is a separate person in drag.
Yeah.
Everyone knows they have to get ready in an hour.
Yeah.
And there are other queens. Like but years ago, I remember being told that the Vivienne used to take 5 hours to get ready. Like Rosé said, well, she looks great, but she doesn't look like she takes 5 hours.
I say that however long I've got to get ready is how long I will use to get ready.
Yes.
Like I can do a face in 45 minutes and throw on a wig very quickly and all the undergarments. And that's the thing. I think that people don't realise that the makeup's only part of it. You've then got your undergarments, your wig, your costume and your shoes.
One of the funniest lines of the episode or of the show so far was Joey J saying it's drag race, not drag walk.
Something else that I wrote about here is Rosé's colour correction. It was a lot of colour correction in a full, not only that, but in a full coverage foundation as well.
She wears a lot of layers of makeup, does that gal?
Yeah, she looks stunning though. Oh, okay. So, onto the runway.
Oh, so then we open up on the runway.
Yes.
And then they do this thing. They do what we do when we want to be shady to each other. They leave in the bits that they normally don't film. In fact, I think they filmed additional bits to be really shady about Kimora.
I was a bit like, oh my god, is Kimora not going to make the runway? And it's the first time I think I've been actually excited about something.
Before we were like, this episode means nothing because no one's going home again.
Yep.
But actually, suddenly I was like, oh, if she really fucks up, maybe they will send
Maybe they will send her home. Let's talk favourites and least favourites for the daytime ladylike look.
On the lady looks, Tamisha, outfit-wise, adored it, but her hair wasn't big enough again. Did you like any other ones?
Nope.
Oh, well, neither.
There is a note that I've put here about Kimora. She's got great taste, but I'm worried if she's ever got to construct anything.
Her day and night looks worked together perfectly.
Yes, absolutely.
This was fully like, in Sabrina, I feel like daytime was Mrs. Wardwell and nighttime was Satan.
It was Lilith.
But it was so underwhelming, that day look. Did you have any hates?
Hated Joey J's.
Joey Gilet.
Welcome to the stage, Joey Gilet.
Do you know who I couldn't stand? Denali.
Oh, really?
She was wearing one of those piss wigs. Yeah, like a blonde wig that's been dyed yellow. Piss wig.
Oh.
Couldn't stand it. Could not stand it.
I didn't.
Right. So next up were the day looks.
Do you mean the night looks?
Yes.
Night looks. What do I think of the night looks? I loved Rosé. It was very like Mortal Kombat character. But one thing that really made me laugh was when Ross was like, I could never find the switch on this lab. And it reminded me of the Saturday Night Live sketch of Liza Minnelli.
I just need to find the clicker, the switch that turns this whole cuckoo thing down. Is there a little knob on here that you turn and everything goes black?
This was the first time I noticed Rosé overanalyzes and over-explains her looks when she gets the chance. And it grates on me a bit. I'll also say that I think one of the reasons this look was so successful is because her face was in darkness. I don't think her face fits her looks. On the flip side from before, loved Denali's look. I just loved this skirt. I loved the jacket as well. I really, really loved this whole look.
I enjoyed it. She didn't make my love list. However, Utica did make my love list.
Really?
Yes. It was this really niche reference. She looked like a villain from one of the Final Fantasy games.
Meanwhile, I put her on my hate.
What did you hate about Utica's look then?
The main thing was it so far just didn't really fit the theme for me. If the theme was vampire, then she had like a Nosferatu thing sort of going on.
Yeah.
If the theme was vampy, it wasn't. It was like some villain from a game. She looked like the villain from Power Rangers.
Rita Repulsa!
It felt like it to me also. There were lots of elements that felt disconnected.
Another one that I loved was Tamisha. She is going to give us some old school classic drag. And you're going to say that it looked dated.
Well, it did. It was an Elvira nod, and Elvira's look is dated. I just can't get behind it all being hair. It was so bizarre to me. Everyone else was on the meh.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Joey J made my meh list again.
Joey J looked like India Ferrer in her original season. Who else is that? Kamara. It was gorgeous.
Yes.
I absolutely adored it in another setting.
It wasn't big enough, and I hated this hair with it. It was like she went, oh, vampire, let's put some reddy orange hair on.
But I also felt like this was Alexis Stone.
Yes, I felt that. It very much gave me what Alexis Stone does, and what Alexis Stone does bloody well as well.
Yeah, absolutely gorgeous, but just not enough for this runway. Not enough for any runway.
No, not at all. We then go on to a conversation about Tamisha.
Start with her age, and I was, do you know what, actually, from what I said before about them all being like quite nice and friendly and mellow and whatever and cool in this group, they're all in like their late 20s, early 30s. I think that has like a big important part in the energy that's happening here.
Yeah,
in who they are.
They don't feel the need to cut someone else down to make themselves feel better. I am really happy that Tamisha is here, and when she says I haven't lasted for 30 years for nothing, I was like, yes, bitch, you better work. I'm here for you, teaching these children about an old school set of drag that is just as relevant as what some of the newer queens are doing. And
something I would love is, this is the first time we talk about Tandy Aman. This episode is almost dedicated to her.
That is Tandy's legacy. It's a video that everyone around the world has seen. Love this moment for Tamisha. Then, RuPaul comes back into the workroom.
That snake. Couldn't she just let them sit and chat?
Let's talk about Tamisha for a whole hour.
What the frack does she want now?
Oh my god. You know what she does want? She wants them to write and perform a verse to Phenomenon, which is from the RuPaul Vegas show. Boy, was I in for a treat this week. My favourite part of RuPaul's Drag Race is back. Favourite part of season 13 is back. The mannequin with the purple and black fabric on it.
Oh my god.
It's just hovering in the background. I love it.
It's a piece of fabric.
I'm going to piss if by the end of this season that piece of black and purple fabric becomes really important.
It's a piece of fabric.
The queens are sat around the table. They're having a chat about what they're going to do, what they're planning.
Oh, not again.
I just hate that gap in the fringe.
I fell and seriously injured.
Fringe. The queens talk about whether they're going to rap, whether they're going to sing. Obviously, Rosé says that she's going to sing. Utica says that she's going to rap. Joey J might mention once or twice that they are gay. I don't know whether you noticed it, but Joey J mentions that they're gay.
To be fair, Joey J is a bit gay.
The jury's out.
The jury. Jury J.
Jury J.
Then we find out that there are 4 choreographers in this group. Last week,
Yes.
No one wanted to be no one was a choreographer except for one that was pretending they weren't.
Yeah.
And this week everyone's like, but I'm a choreographer!
Yeah. And
Like, the tables
Utica in the back's
turn.
just like this. Speaking of Utica, when we get Utica's confessionals, does she...
Utica.
I forgot what I was saying now.
Utica in the confessional.
Oh, does Utica lean into her confessionals?
I think the problem is they put them all in the same chair. She's a long lady. Her pivot point, it's like me. Sometimes I'm like this and sometimes I'm like this. I think that when we start talking about the choreographers, we find out that there's already a lot of ideas for things that might be a nice idea.
They're all like...
Literally, yeah. Whole day before, and everyone's like, what about this? And I think this would be nice.
Yeah.
And it's actually, I don't know how much of this is editing, because actually they were all good ideas.
What they should have done is they should have gone, right, actually, I really like that idea, let's put that in. Tamisha gets frustrated. Kimora and Utica don't seem to know what they're doing. Tamisha is the voice of reason.
Eventually. She is the narrator of this season.
She is the narrator of the season. She's the one that notices that Kimora is not having it.
Yeah.
And not doing well.
And that's the mother in her.
At this point, I wrote, give Tamisha her own show. Nothing much else really happens in this choreography section. We then move back to the workroom. Kimora has a conversation with Tamisha about, her boyfriend wouldn't want to date a full-time drag queen.
I did think this bit with Kimora was a bit weird, because she's been with her partner for 8 years.
Yeah.
And she's come on national/international television,
one of the biggest platforms
to air the dirty laundry, instead of get a therapist. I'm also interested, how much money does her boy job make that for her once or twice a month that she does drag, she can afford a load of Bob Mackie originals?
A load of Mackie.
So she is in the House of Hall.
Yeah.
What, from once or twice doing drag a month? Something fishy here to me. Something fishy.
Oh, I hadn't thought of it like that.
But also, her boyfriend is trash. Regardless of all that nonsense, if this is true, her boyfriend is trash.
Yeah, support your partner, whatever they decide to do. Or we get more of Tamisha talking about the house of...
This is when she mentions Candy Aman. It wasn't before.
No, this is where she... Yes, earlier on she talks about how she's got drag children and biological children.
Real children.
Now...
But this time she mentions Candy, yeah.
Yeah, now she mentions... Do you keep saying Candy?
Tandy.
It sounded like you said Candy.
I might have said Candy, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably did, considering I wrote Candy.
Oh, yes, good.
I said Tandy before.
Yeah, you said Tandy before. This is where we talk about the House of Iman. Tandy Iman Dupree. It's a legendary house with some legendary children. You can't help but really love Tamisha.
Yeah. I'm very interested to see what's going to happen next week when she's reunited with Lala Ree.
Well, I didn't know this until this week, that Lala Ree is Tamisha's drag daughter. But this is where Rosé talks about, yes, she's here for a sisterhood, but she's also here to win the competition.
Something about Rosé makes me a little bit, not uneasy, but I think maybe she's a little bit off kilter with the world.
Yeah, possibly.
I think they are going to exploit her.
I think she's going to get the villain edit, and I think that the more that she wins, the worse she's going to get.
Move aside, it's your girl Denali. I'm a gay ass bitch, I'm Joey J from the House of Hall. Rise on the morning light.
Tamisha Iman is coming for you to show the girls what I can do.
We're gonna wiggle to the top, wiggle to the top.
Runway is, we're here, we're sheer, get used to it. Let's do each of the queens while there's only 6 of them. Starting off with Denali.
My initial thought was her vamp look was a much better sheer look than this.
I thought the same thing.
I got the Iris van Herpen reference as soon as I saw it, but I did think this is like when you go on Wish and the picture is of the actual design, and then you get a version of it where you're like, okay, I see it.
Yeah, I did not like this dress at all. Just a side note, they fixed the background music. Joey J was next. I just put, no.
I again thought, I bet the picture on Wish for this was gorgeous. Joey made comment about her edgy headband.
Her edgy
She was like,
headband.
I'm giving them the edgy look. I've got my headband on. The beautiful and perfect, accurate shade. It was shade, I'm sorry. Ross Matthews saying, oh, I wonder, this is what happens when you look up what to do with half Eliza Minnelli costume. Accurate.
Right. And then Nicole Byers saying, I'd stick that up in my doorway. Howling at that. Yeah, I didn't like JoJo's look at all.
The next was Kat Mora.
Kat
Mora.
Garment beautiful. Hair was the wrong shape or height.
But those earrings.
She just can't win.
But next up was Rose. What about her? Can she win?
I hated this look.
What the fuck was this wig?
Let's move on to the next queen, which was Tamisha Iman.
And no one made a joke. She needs to be making RuPaul's outfits.
I said the same thing. I was like, why is she not dressing and making stuff for RuPaul now?
Yeah.
Like,
sorry, Zaldi, love you, but like,
yeah,
take a seat.
Moving on to judges' critiques.
Yes.
As I've already said, Nicole Byers as a judge was bloody brilliant.
Bloody brilliant.
And top two of the week are Denali and Rosé. Do you agree?
Yeah, probably do.
When they do announce, the top two and that nobody's going home, there's a moment where we see Kimora, and Kimora obviously thought that she was in the bottom two this week.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But who could possibly have been against her in the bottom two? It was probably between Tamisha and maybe Joey.
Oh, or maybe Joey. Yeah, possibly Joey. What did you think of the actual lip sync itself?
It was great to see Rose get rid of those sleeves. And actually, a gag. I didn't expect it to happen.
I thought she was going to do some Coco sleeves. I was a bit disappointed when she didn't.
Spent the whole time going, I really hate Denali, but she's fucking killing this lip sync.
Yeah, she absolutely slayed this lip sync.
When she snapped her legs open at that snap,
and
they laughed, I laughed.
They laughed, I laughed. And then she started doing like the floor work, the duck walking. I wasn't quite sure what Rose was doing because I didn't really watch it.
No.
Denali wins. And that is episode 3. I don't know what we're on anymore.
Who was my favourite of the week? Just overall, probably Tamisha.
Yeah, I said the same thing. Tamisha was my favourite overall. Not in terms
I enjoyed her, I liked her.
Yeah.
I even enjoyed her rap bit.
Yeah, not in terms of performance.
Georgina wigs up, but...
Shush your wigs. Who was your least favourite of the week?
It's a difficult one. I still dislike Denali the most. I think everyone else I really enjoyed.
I said Kimora. I think that Kimora just missed the mark for me a couple too many times.
But did that mean that you disliked her the most?
Oh no, not at all. I didn't. I genuinely. We've said for the last couple of weeks that we've not been happy with this series because we've not felt like it's a true to form Drag Race series. This was the first episode of season 13 that I've genuinely enjoyed.
I kind of don't want the other queens back. There's maybe a couple that I'd be like, okay, can we borrow them? Like, bring Olivia and Simone over to this group.
Yeah, I will be shocked if the winner isn't from that group. Thank you for getting back on track, RuPaul's Drag Race, and bringing me my favourite programme. On to episode 4 next week. And answers in the comments who your favourite and least favourite of the week were. And we do read them, we do reply to them. So, that is the end of episode 3 of RuPaul's Best Friend Review. I have been Annabelle Lecter.
Oh, wait, 1 second.
Oh, God.
I feel like before I had this drink, I had something really funny to say on this outro, and I'd forgotten what it was.
You look a bit like Annie Lennox. You could call yourself Manny Lennox.
Manny Lennox.
Join in and thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Goodbye.
Bye. Alexa, play React by the Pussycat Dolls.